Welcome back to our study on Genesis. We've kind of arrived now at the conclusion of the story of Noah. And what I'd like to do here is look at the big picture and try and start to color in a little bit of the big picture. And what I mean by big picture is if you've seen, or maybe you've done it, I forget what they call it. I think they call it the adult coloring books or adult color by number or something. It was popular, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. You can still find it. It's, coloring pages for adults, and you can have fun, just like a little kid coloring in color by numbers. And the difference is that the pictures are very complex, and there's a lot of numbers and a lot of colors and all that kind of stuff. The story of God's work in human history is kind of like that. It's adult level, it's complex, and we're at the point of just starting to color in a couple of the numbers. And the colors that we're using here are some of the primary colors that are really going to run through the whole story. And so what I've done on the worksheet there for you is kind of, in a sense, like just giving you all the answers without actually asking you to look up any of the Bible verses. I mean, please do, don't get me wrong. But in order to kind of help you see the bigger picture, I kind of have to show it to you a little bit. And what we're looking at here is a phrasing, a theology, a teaching from the Apostle Paul in the New Testament, where he describes Jesus as the last Adam. And he describes, of course, Adam as the first Adam. Now, the first Adam was supposed to serve and guard in the garden, have dominion. I might even add the word a righteous dominion over everything. He was supposed to be God's representative on planet Earth, made in God's image, reflecting God's will and purpose and love and expression to the planet. He was the guy. Well, he failed. Pretty miserably. But God still wants to have his human representative on the planet. And so he makes a promise, and he says, through your offspring, one will come who will be that representative and conquer the enemy. Of course, we know that person will eventually be Jesus. We know that because we kind of know the end of the story. But back here, we're still in the very beginning part of coloring in the little parts of the story. And so what we see is God tried with Adam, and Adam failed. So God tries again with Noah. Noah is called righteous. Noah is called righteous. And Noah gets to kind of restart the human population on planet Earth. Him and his sons and the sons' wives. Just like Adam started the population before the flood. And in a lot of ways, this first 9 chapters, really kind of also 10, but 9 chapters of the Bible connects Adam and Noah together. And I think it's important that we notice that. We notice that the story is written to connect these two. And the end point is going to be that Noah fails also. Adam failed. God tries again with Noah. Noah fails. God's going to try again with Abraham. Abraham believed, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Well, Abraham is going to kind of screw up a couple times. Well, maybe it's Isaac. Well, no, Isaac's going to mess things up. Jacob. Well, Jacob's going to kind of mess things up. And then the story goes down. And time again, God identifies, calls various people, And they all screw up, and they all mess up, and they screw up, and they mess up. And they finally come down to his only begotten Son, who doesn't fail, who doesn't screw up. He is the righteous one. He is the one to whom we will go for righteousness. He will give us his righteousness so that we may be righteous, because we can't do it on our own. So that's a really, really big picture, right? But I kind of want to show you how right now in these early chapters, this storyline is being set up. So for instance, we begin in Genesis 1. The Spirit of God is hovering over the face of the waters. All right, so we have the waters, and they're very chaotic. They're unformed. But God sets them into boundaries. Boundaries above and below, boundaries with dry land and water. When we restart with Noah, Genesis 6, God says, my spirit, so my spirit is now, again, present, will not abide in man forever, for he is flesh, his day shall be 120 years. And so there's a time limit that's set on the spirit's presence, and then the waters become chaotic again. The waters in Genesis, as I mentioned, are confined, gathered, set boundaries. After the flood, the waters recede back to their boundaries and confinements, and their ability to flood the earth is restrained as well. So you see how things are kind of repeating, patterning themselves. Genesis 1:28, God blessed them. God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Funny thing, Noah gets off the boat, and what does God say? God blesses them, same words, and says to them, exact same words, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. We're restarting with Noah. Adam, in chapter 2, verse 7, was a man that was made from the ground. The Adam was made from the Adamah in the Hebrew. The words are very similar. Noah begins, isn't that interesting? Begin, right? To be a man of the ground. Adam, 3 named children. Now it says he has other sons and daughters, but only 3 sons are named. Isn't that interesting? Cain, Abel, Seth. One of those kids is a complete loser. Noah. Go figure. How many named children? 1, 2, 3. Shem, Ham, Japheth. One of those sons is a complete loser. You see a pattern being established here? Yahweh planted a garden. Noah planted a vineyard. The word planted is used only 3 times in the book of Genesis. Abraham is the other time. He plants a tree. So again, there's a connection being made here. And we come down to the question, okay, well, how did Adam do? Well, he failed. So God had to restart. How does Noah do? Noah gets drunk. Really? What happens as a result of that? While Noah was there, present, with his wife, the whole time, in the tent, sin was happening with his wife. Gee, that sounds like Adam, doesn't it? He was present with her, and yet he stood there and watched as sin happened to his wife. You see any patterns here? So Noah fails. Both men fail, and their wives pay a very dear price. What happens? Curse happens as a result. I mean, I could go on. The connections just keep going and going and going. This book of Genesis is a marvelous piece of literature written to begin the story and to set up everything that's going to come. The seeds are here. I mean, that's both, kind of like literal and metaphorical, right? The seed of the woman shall crush the seed of the serpent. Yeah, it's all here. The seeds are here, and we're at the beginning. We get to see how all of this is going to grow and play itself out over the rest of the pages of the Bible. In both cases, I think we need to leave off with this thought. God doesn't give up on us. God doesn't give up on his promise. God hangs in there the whole time with sinful humanity. I mean, that's just crazy. That's a crazy kind of loyalty and love and devotion and passion that's beyond human comprehension. God truly does want us to be with him. Sin notwithstanding, he is willing to sacrifice his own son so we can be with him. He's willing to wait out all of our stupidity and ignorance and rebellion until the time when he'll wrap up sin and start with a what? A new heaven and a new earth. That's the story, and we're a part of it. We're a part of it right now. That's pretty awesome. Until next time, God bless you.